Hello, friends. Welcome to the learning platform Claim IS. Today, we are back with a new chapter, a new topic that is theory of educations. So, before we start, as we know from the previous lecture, that Athens got defeated from Sparta, and the reason for defeat is huge corruption in Athens. And corruption is due to appetite, greed among the ruling class. So, what is the reason behind the corruptions? So, here, the reason behind corruption is ignorance. And what is the solution of ignorance? The solution of ignorance is right educations. So educations came into being after the knowing about the ignorance, what were the reasons for the huge corruptions in the Athens. And the important questions now, it comes in the minds of every students that study, those who studies PSIR. That is why educations. So education is key to Plato's scheme of just virtue society. The important aspect of education was to prepare the philosopher king. So here the objective of education was to prepare the philosopher king who is going to be the future ruler. The philosopher, after passing through a rigorous educations, after practicals, means if they qualify the practical and if they are fit to be the ruler, then they are given the positions to be the ruler class. And those who are given the position to be the ruler class, they will run the government and welfare of the individual and the society. So when they make the policies, they have to keep in mind about the welfare of the individual as well as the society. And for Plato, education necessary for all the classes of the society and especially for those who governs the people. Why they have mentioned here especially, friends? Why? Because here those who governs meaning means ruling class. He should be given the education and it is necessary for the persons who govern because his single decisions may have impact to the majority of people in the society. And the third point is for Plato, education means to social justice. Here, friends, social educations not only mean how to be a good ruler, but it also talks about the virtue and the goodness, that is peace and harmony, in order to achieve the excellence in the society, in order to bring the justice in the society. So after the defeat of Athens, there was a questions in the minds of young Plato, and he was curious to know the reason for the defeat of Athens from Sparta in the War of Peloponnesians. So Plato analyzed the education system of Athens and Sparta. So he found that in the education system of Athens, teaching logic, maths, and literature as well as philosophy. Here, friends, philosophy is taught by Socrates and some teachers of Athens. Here, he says it is good to have teachers like Socrates and other who teaches subject like philosophy in Athens. Friends, if we have idea that Socrates is also known as father of philosophy by Marcus Tullius Cicero, he says Socrates brought philosophy from sky to earth. So from this we can understand the importance of philosophy in the Athens. And if we have looked towards Sparta education system, here Sparta more priority is given to physical educations. But giving only priority to physical educations, it is not enough to run the state in a proper manner or a virtuous manner. So to run the state, one has to learn maths, literature, and philosophy, some moral values to run the state in a peaceful manner. And the second point is the system was private hands. One has to pay and get the education. So, friends, as we know, the sophist educations in Athens, only the rich class can pursue the educations in Athens because one has to pay, and the education system was private in Athens. But if we have looked towards Sparta, here the education was sponsored by the state. Here, education means state looks after the educations of Sparta. So in the education system of Athens, women were neglected, whereas in the system of educations in Sparta, equality to women and military educations to both the sexes. It means sometimes even the female, whoever stays in the Sparta, they were given educations and trainings of military as well. So let us have a look towards stages of procuring knowledge in the education system of Athens. So in Athens, education system was both higher education as well as primary educations. So primary educations were basically from 0 to 6. And here, actually students were supposed to go for gym and study, listen to music, moral stories in order to develop the ethical values or the moral values in the students of Athens. So in the book Republic, it is clearly mentioned that moral stories were taught to the primary childrens, means who are at the age of 0 to 6. It is because moral stories help the students of the Athens in order to develop the ethical values, moral values, and shape the emotions in a right directions of the student of Athens. That is the reason they were taught moral stories as in order to build their characters. So in the second stage, they were students of 6 to 20 years. It means students were taught general subjects like mathematics, geometry, history, geography, physical military educations are taught at this stage. So in this stage of 6 to 20, students of Athens, they were given educations of geography, mathematics, geometry, physical, military educations. So they were taught almost every subjects were taught at the age of 6 to 20 years. So after the first and second stage of educations, the first filtrations occurs at the age of 20. So what actually happens, friends? Those who pass the test show the capacity to study further, means who have the capability to study further, who have passed the examination that were conducted in the second stage, they will be promoted for the study of higher educations and rest will join the producers. Means as we have even seen in the modern days also, some students they leave the classes after the secondary educations. So the parents says them to go for business and do the business. So in the same way, during the Athens, during the time, students who have failed and who have not been promoted, they have to join the producer class. That is what happens in the first filtrations at the age of 20. And now, after the first filtrations, now there is a higher educations. Here in the higher education first stage, if we see, that is the age group of 20 to 30. The level of subject will increase here and the focus will be on mathematics, geometry, literature. According to Plato, not mathematics is not only to think the logically, but also conveys the ideal of conceptual truth. So basically, friends, in the higher educations, which is from which the age group is from 20 to 30, here little the subject increases, and basically they focus on the conceptual truth, how to develop the conceptual truth in a students. So after the first stage of higher education, second filtration takes place, and this occurs at the age of 30. Here, those who show the aptitude for further learning will be promoted and rest will join the soldier class. So those who have the learning capability, those who have qualified the test, they will be promoted for the higher educations and rest will be joining the soldier class and they will be given the military educations or the training. So after the second filtrations, there is a second stage that is at the group age group of 30 to 50 years. Here basically uh, dialectics and practical trainings are given to the individuals. So here, the learning of mathematics is not sufficient according to Plato. While mathematics relies on numbers and diagrams, the goal is to go beyond the realms of the sense. Thus, at this stage, dialectics will be taught. Dialectics, as discussed earlier, it is a method that leads to discovery of universal truth. So here, friends, as we have studied in previous chapter, dialectics is nothing but a debate between the individuals or the teachers in order to find the real truth. So here, mostly they have focused on the dialectical educations in order to have the true knowledge and to be fit for the ruling class. So only those who attain the final vision will be allowed to become the philosopher king, and in reality, very few become the philosopher king. Further, since the good transcends mere logic, it also provides the basis for absolute rule for the philosopher king as well as we have seen in the literature. So, friends who have so those who have qualified the second stage at the age of 30 to 50, those persons can be fit to be the ruler class or the ruler of Athens. So after reading the theory of educations of Plato, few philosophers found it as helpful. Some few have given or commented it in a positive manner, and few have commented in a negative manner. So let us have a look towards the statement of Rousseau. He says that Republic is the best book written on the education. He says because He found that the way of educations of Athens and the way of educations, the way of selections, of the soul it was pretty good, and it helps to be a good rulers. It produces a better rulers from this method of education. So that Rousseau have commented that Republic is the best book written on the educations. So if we look towards the second comment of Walker, that is Plato's scheme of educations brings the soul into environment which in each stage of growth is best suited for its development. That's what Walker says here. So here, Walker's admire and praises by these statements and says that Plato's system of education is such good where soul is getting the environment in which by the help of the environment one is deciding the soul of elements, whether what is prominent in an individuals, who should to be the ruler, who should have the capability and fit to be the soldiers, and who should be in the producing class. So that's the reasons he admires and says that Plato education's scheme of educations bring the soul into environments which in each stage of growth is best suited for developments. That's what Barker says. And now, friends, some philosophers have commented negatively on the theory of educations of Plato. That is, Plato's laying more emphasis on mathematics than literatures. So some philosophers says that Plato should focus on literature. He should not give more emphasis on mathematics. And the second comment, that is creation of obedient citizens rather than creative citizens. Here, friends, so whatever the state instructions or the way the state guides, in the same way life of citizens are determined, and there is absence of creativity. So few philosophers have commented this in a negative way. And the third one is interest of persons isn't considered. Here, decisions are taken in the interest of state and not the citizens. So few of the philosophers have commented in a negative way also. And here, Aristotle comments that rulers has to be worldly wise rather than wise in the world of ideas. So here, rulers should be the one who is worldly wise and not wise in the world of ideas. It means rulers should have true knowledge about the world because ultimately rulers have to rule the people. And to rule the people, the rulers has need to make the policy, and the policy must be from the various perspective. He have to think multidimensionally. He have to understand each and everything what goes among the world, what happens actually. He should have the true knowledge of the world. So that is the reasons Aristotle's here comments on the theory of educations of Plato. So, friends, thank you for watching with us. And the next lectures will be on theory of communism. Communism. So, stay continued with us. So, thank you. If you really like this channel or the platform, do like and subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you.